Good morning, Bella Vista. Today is Thursday, May 29th, 2014. As many of the students and teachers here today are painfully aware, I've been the voice of Bella Vista's morning announcements for the past year. What a year it's been. To be honest, I've been disrupting class for as long as I can remember. But never in my wildest dreams would I have thought the principal herself, Miss Peggy Haskins, would have asked me to do it on a regular basis. Thank you, Miss Haskins, for your kind lapse in judgment. I'd like to talk today about something that is at the heart of nearly every decision a teenager makes on a daily basis. 4 simple letters that have become synonymous with youth, freedom, and only living once. That's right, YOLO. Now, for the grandparents in the audience, it's an acronym which stands for You Only Live Once. I believe it was the Canadian poet Drake who said it best. Now she want a photo, y'all already know. You only live once, that's the motto. Racial slur, YOLO. What a wordsmith. Now, a lot of people in my generation seem to think we somehow invented this concept of you only live once. And trust me, I've always been one to take credit for something I didn't do. But folks, it's been said before. I mean, carpe diem, which means seize the day, that was coined way back in 23 BC. We have memento mori, which is Latin for remember you will die. And of course, domo arigato, which means a third thing. Look, I never got a chance to ask Sensei what it meant, but the point is, if Mr. Roboto can do it, so can we. Look, over the last 2 years, of all the tweets we've sent out, more than 36 million have contained the word YOLO. And sad to say, that is a real statistic. But to be honest, I don't think any of us realize what it is we're saying. You know, very hashtag YOLO comes the admission of something so dark and scary, few of us ever talk about it. Our own mortality. Everyone knows you only get one shot, right? So what should we do with that information? Well, if you're like most people, you could use it as an excuse to play it safe. You know, you might convince yourself to spend the rest of your life building someone else's dream in a job you couldn't care less about. Paying into your retirement every month for the next 40 years until you're finally old enough to pursue your dream. Or what's left of it at that point. And don't get me wrong, if that's your idea of a perfect life, then by all means, it's yours for the taking. But where does that leave the rest of us? You know, what about those of us who want to get more out of our only chance at life than a regular desk job? What about people like Steve Jobs? In 2005, Steve Jobs delivered the commencement address at Stanford University. And what he said just a few years before his untimely death is one of the most inspiring things I've ever heard. He said, remembering that you're going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There's no reason not to follow your heart. The thing is, our society emphasizes the importance of security and stability more than anything else. And so much so that many people my age are too scared to follow their dreams. Ask yourself right now, if we lived in a crazy world where you were expected to follow your dreams, do whatever it is you wanted to do, what would that be? Whatever just popped into your head, that's where your heart is. And the only way it won't happen is if you start thinking you have something to lose. I know some of you might be wondering, well, who are you to talk about following your dreams? You're a high school student. What passion could you possibly have? To that I say, wow, you guys are an awfully judgmental crowd. But yeah, I do have a dream. You know, and when I told my family, they all gave me the same exact look. And it's that look you give your kid when he looks you in the eye and tells you he wants to grow up to be president of the United States, or a magician, or a fire truck. My dream is to be a stand-up comedian. And to most people, success sounds just as unrealistic. But that brings me to the whole point of my speech. What do I have to lose? You know, if this life really is your only chance to be an incredible musician, or an actor, or an author, or a biomedical engineer, but you're afraid of what the future holds, remember this. Every successful person we idolize and respect sat exactly where you sit today. Anyone you can think of at the age of 18 was on your level, and you are on theirs. Justin Bieber doesn't count. I said idolize and respect. And here we are. No house payment, no being stuck in a dead-end job. Right now, we have nothing to tie us down. Unless you still haven't seen the last season of Breaking Bad. If that's the case, you get your life together. This is the beginning. High school was the practice session, and it's over now. I'm sure we've made mistakes, but they've only helped us figure out who we are and who we want to become. Right now, at this moment, the last 12 years of our lives become shockingly irrelevant. I guess I could close with something a little more realistic and helpful, but why start now? I'll leave you with this instead. Your quote of the day from Christian Emerald. We only live once. Let's make it count. Thank you and congrats, class of 2014. Hashtag YOLO!
That was awesome.
Great. I'm glad I didn't hear.